My boyfriend surprised me with tickets to my favorite concert for my birthday. We had amazing seats right near the stage. After the show ended, he grabbed the microphone from security and climbed onto the stage. Everyone in the whole arena started looking at us. He said beautiful words about our love and then asked me to marry him. I screamed yes and started jumping up and down with happiness. Then he laughed really loud and yelled, "Just kidding, everyone." His cousin was filming everything for their prank channel. I ran out crying and took a taxi home alone. He came home later acting like nothing bad happened. He said I was being silly for getting upset. Then I found messages on his tablet showing he had a secret girlfriend for almost a year. That's when I decided to teach him a lesson he would never forget. Stay watching because what I did next made him beg and cry in front of his whole family. Marcus and I were together for 5 whole years. 5 years of loving him with my whole heart. 5 years thinking we would get married and have babies together. I was so wrong about everything. My name is Zara. I'm 29 years old. This is my story about how everything fell apart one summer night at a concert hall in front of thousands of strangers. But let me tell you how we met first. Marcus and I started dating at a coffee shop where I worked when I was 23. He was handsome and always made me laugh so hard my stomach hurt. He loved making videos and wanted to be famous on the internet. He talked about having millions of followers someday. I thought it was cool that my boyfriend had big dreams. We got our own place together after 2 years of dating. We rented a cute house with a big backyard in Charlotte, near the nice shopping area. The rent cost a lot of money every month, but we agreed to pay half each. I had a job doing computer work at a car insurance company. My paycheck was always the same amount and pretty good. Marcus worked taking pictures for different companies, but he didn't have a regular schedule. Sometimes he made lots of money and sometimes he made almost nothing. And when he couldn't pay his part, guess who had to pay everything? That's right, me. When rent was due and his bank account was empty, I paid the whole thing myself. When he needed a new camera that cost thousands of dollars, I helped him buy it. When he wanted to go to fancy restaurants but had no money, I paid for both of us every single time. I didn't complain about it back then. I really didn't mind helping him. I loved him so much. I thought we were building our future together as a team. I believed when his videos became popular, we would celebrate together and be happy. Looking back now, I feel so stupid. My birthday was on a Saturday in July. I thought we would just have a nice dinner somewhere quiet and romantic. But Marcus had different plans that I didn't know about. He woke me up early, which he never did because he loved sleeping late. He had this sneaky smile on his face. "Happy birthday, beautiful," he said while bringing me pancakes and orange juice. "Today is going to be the best day you've ever had in your whole life." My heart started beating really fast. I had been telling him for months that I wanted to get married soon. We lived together already. We had been dating for so long. I wanted him to be my husband for real. I wanted everyone to know we belonged together forever. "What are you planning?" I asked him, trying not to smile too big or get too excited. "It's a surprise. First, we're going to that concert you've been talking about nonstop. I got us special VIP tickets." He remembered. 2 months before, I told him my favorite singer was coming to town and I really wanted to go. The tickets were super expensive, so I thought we couldn't afford them. But somehow he got them for us. My mind started racing with ideas. Maybe, just maybe, he was going to propose to me at the concert. That would be so romantic and special. I got dressed in my prettiest outfit and did my makeup perfectly. We drove to the arena and our seats were incredible. We were so close to the stage I could see everything. The music was loud and amazing. I sang along to every song and held Marcus's hand the whole time. He kept looking at me with this weird smile, like he knew something I didn't. When the last song ended and everyone started clapping, Marcus suddenly stood up. He talked to one of the security guards and somehow got past the barrier. Then he climbed right up onto the actual stage. The whole arena got really quiet. Everyone stopped moving and stared at him. Some people started recording videos on their phones. I felt my whole body get hot and tingly. This was it. This was really happening. "Can I have everyone's attention, please?" Marcus said into the microphone. His voice echoed through the whole building. I want to talk about this amazing woman right there. He pointed straight at me. The spotlight moved to shine on my face. I couldn't breathe. Thousands of people were looking at me now. Zara and I have been together for 5 wonderful years, Marcus continued, his voice clear and strong. She's my best friend. She supports everything I do. She believes in my dreams even when I don't believe in them myself. She makes me laugh when I'm sad. She's the most important person in my whole world. I started crying happy tears. They ran down my cheeks and messed up my makeup, but I didn't care at all. Everyone was watching us. This was the most special moment of my entire life. Marcus got down on one knee right there on the stage. The whole crowd started screaming and cheering. Some people were crying too. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold them still. Zara, you mean everything to me, he said, looking into my eyes from the stage. I want to wake up next to you every single day for the rest of my life. I want to grow old with you. I want to have a family with you. He reached into his jacket pocket. Time seemed to move super slowly like in the movies. My heart was pounding so hard I thought everyone could probably hear it. Zara Williams, will you marry me? He asked. Yes. I screamed as loud as I could. I didn't even wait to see if there was a ring. Yes, yes, yes. 1,000 times yes. The crowd went absolutely crazy. People were clapping and whistling and cheering. It was the loudest sound I'd ever heard in my life. And then Marcus jumped up off his knee. He threw his hands in the air and shouted into the microphone. Got you. It was all fake. It's just a prank. Everything stopped. The cheering died down. The arena went totally quiet except for a few confused whispers. I just stood there frozen. My brain couldn't understand what was happening. What? I whispered, but nobody could hear me because there was no microphone near me. It was a prank, babe. Relax. Marcus was laughing so hard he could barely talk. Yo, Rico, did you get all that on camera? I looked over and saw his cousin Rico standing in the aisle holding up his phone, recording everything with a huge grin. I got everything, man. This is pure gold. Our channel is gonna blow up. Rico shouted back. The people sitting around me looked shocked. Some looked angry. Some looked sorry for me. I heard a woman behind me say, "That's so cruel." My whole body felt numb, like I wasn't really there anymore. Like this was happening to someone else and I was just watching. Zara, you should see your face right now. Marcus called out from the stage, still laughing like this was the funniest thing ever. This video is gonna get millions of views. Something broke inside my chest. It felt like my heart shattered into 1,000,000 tiny pieces. I grabbed my purse and pushed past people in my row. I ran up the stairs toward the exit as fast as I could go. My high heels made it hard to run, but I didn't stop. Zara, wait. Come back. I heard Marcus yelling behind me, but I kept running. I couldn't look at him. I couldn't be there anymore. I made it outside to the parking lot and the tears exploded out of me. I wasn't crying pretty tears anymore. I was sobbing so hard my whole body was shaking. I could barely see because my eyes were so full of tears. I pulled out my phone to call a taxi, but my hands were trembling so badly I kept pressing the wrong buttons. Marcus came running out of the building after me. Zara, stop. What's your problem? It was just a joke. I spun around to face him. The anger inside me felt like fire burning in my stomach. A joke. I screamed at him. You think that was funny, Marcus? You embarrassed me in front of thousands of people. Come on, Zara. I got you those expensive concert tickets. I took you to see your favorite singer. I planned this whole special thing. You can't be mad about one little prank. You embarrassed me. I yelled even louder. I didn't care that people walking by were staring at us now. In front of everyone. You knew how badly I wanted to get married. You knew that was my biggest dream. And you used that to make me look stupid for your dumb videos. You're being way too dramatic. It's not that serious. If you post that video, I said quietly, but my voice was shaking with anger, I promise you will regret it for the rest of your life. I'm not playing around. My taxi pulled up right then. I got in and slammed the door so hard the whole car shook. I cried the entire ride home. The driver was nice and didn't ask any questions. He just drove quietly and handed me tissues from a box in the front seat. When I got to our house, I locked every door and window. I went straight to the bedroom and fell onto the bed. I cried until my throat hurt. I cried until my head was pounding. I cried until my eyes were so swollen I could barely open them. I fell asleep in my clothes with my makeup smeared all over my face and the pillow. I woke up around 3 in the morning. I heard the front door open and Marcus walking around downstairs. He was bumping into furniture and talking too loud. He was definitely drunk. Part of me wanted to go downstairs and yell at him. I wanted to tell him how much he hurt me. I wanted him to say sorry and promise he'd never do anything like that again. But I stayed in bed, staring up at the dark ceiling. And for the first time in 5 years, I wondered if I really knew Marcus at all. The more I thought about our relationship, the more things started making sense. Bad things I'd ignored before. Marcus always decided everything for us. He picked the movies we watched. He chose the restaurants. He decided which friends we hung out with and when. I just went along with whatever he wanted because I thought that's what girlfriends were supposed to do. Marcus never said sorry for anything. Even when he was clearly wrong. He always found a way to blame me. He'd say I was too sensitive or I misunderstood him. Marcus constantly pointed out things wrong with me. My hair was too messy. My clothes were too baggy. I needed to exercise more. He always said he was just trying to help me be better. And I believed him because I thought he cared. Marcus used my money all the time. And I let him do it because I thought someday we'd be married and share everything anyway. Lying there in the dark, I finally understood something I should have seen years ago. Marcus didn't actually love me. Not the real me. Marcus loved what I did for him. He loved having someone pay half the bills when he was broke. He loved having a girlfriend who looked good in pictures for his social media. He loved having someone who supported his dreams and never complained. But respecting me, caring about my feelings, actually loving me, well, he never did. I'd been too blind to see the truth. The next few days were horrible. Marcus and I barely talked to each other. I left for work before he woke up. I stayed late at the office even when I didn't have work to do. When I came home, I locked myself in the bedroom. He stayed downstairs playing video games and editing videos like nothing was wrong. 4 days after the concert, he finally knocked on the bedroom door. I was sitting on the bed in my pajamas, staring at the wall. "Zara, we need to talk," he said, standing in the doorway. "So talk," I said without looking at him. "You're not seriously going to stay mad at me forever over something so small, are you?" "Something so small," I repeated, turning to stare at him. "Marcus, you humiliated me in public. You faked a proposal when you knew that's what I wanted most in the world. You did it just to make a stupid prank video. But I paid for those concert tickets. They cost me $300. I did something nice for you." And there it was. The sentence that made everything crystal clear. "You paid for those tickets." Asked slowly. "Really, Marcus? I pay for this whole house half the time when you're broke. When you can't afford rent, who pays it all? Me. When you needed that expensive camera, who gave you money? Me. When we go out to eat and you have no cash, who pays? Me." His face turned red. "I thought you helped me because you loved me. But if money is such a big deal to you, fine. I'll pay you back every cent." "It's not about the money," shouted. "It's about you treating me like a real human being. It's about respect. It's about you caring about my feelings instead of just using me for your stupid channel. Our channel isn't stupid. We're trying to build something here. Get out, Marcus. Zara, you can't just. Get out," I screamed. He left and slammed the door behind him. I heard him swearing and throwing things around downstairs. That night, I texted my best friend Keisha. She lived in another state and couldn't come to my birthday. I told her everything that happened. She video called me right away. "Girl, what?" she practically screamed. "I always knew Marcus was trash, but this is next level. This is beyond disrespectful. I don't know what to do, Keisha. We've been together 5 whole years. We live together. Our lives are completely mixed up. So what? You gonna stay with a man who treats you like garbage just because you've been together a long time? That doesn't make any sense, Zara." She was right. I knew she was right. "I think I'm gonna leave him," I said out loud. Saying the words made it feel real. "You gotta do what's best for you, girl. But if you want my opinion, that man never deserved you. Not even a little bit." We talked for 2 more hours. She reminded me of all the times Marcus made me feel small and worthless. All the times he criticized me and controlled me and used my money. Things I'd pushed deep down inside because it was easier to ignore them than deal with them. When we hung up, I knew what I had to do. I was going to leave Marcus. I was going to move out of this house. I was going to leave this awful relationship and start my life over from scratch. The next morning, Marcus sent me a text message. I was in the bedroom. He was somewhere else in the house. "I'm staying at Rico's apartment for a few days. You need some space to calm down and realize you're being unfair to me." I read it 3 times. Unfair. He was calling me unfair. This man embarrassed me in front of thousands of people. He refused to apologize. He told me I was overreacting and being dramatic. And now he was acting like he was the victim. Like I was the bad guy. The anger I felt was so strong I thought I might explode. He was trying to change the story. He was trying to make everyone think I was the crazy one. The one making a big deal out of nothing. Well, he wasn't going to get away with it. Not this time. I typed my response carefully, making sure every word showed exactly how angry I was. Unfair. You embarrassed me in front of thousands of strangers. You pretended to propose just to make a prank video. You never said sorry. You told me to calm down. And I'm being unfair. You're not changing this story, Marcus. You're not the victim. Don't come back to this house. You're not welcome here anymore. He responded almost instantly. Are you serious? You're kicking me out of my own house. My own house. The house I paid for whenever he was broke. I didn't answer. I turned my phone off and threw it across the bed. He wasn't going to make me feel guilty. He wasn't going to twist everything around. 20 minutes later, I heard the front door open. I looked out the window and saw Marcus throwing clothes into his car. He got in and drove away fast. I sat down on the bed and took a deep breath. This was it. It was really over. I called my mom and told her the whole story from beginning to end. She and my dad were so angry they could barely speak. That boy, my mom said in her serious voice. I've always been nice to him. Always welcomed him to our house. But I never fully trusted him. Something about him always seemed fake to me. I was so stupid, Mom. I wasted 5 years with him. I paid his bills and supported his dreams. You weren't stupid, baby, she interrupted. You were loving. You were kind. You were everything a good partner should be. He's the one who didn't deserve you. I need to get out of this house. His name is on the rental contract with mine, but I can't stay here. Then come home, sweetie. Your old bedroom is exactly how you left it. Come home and we'll figure everything out together. I cried because I was so relieved. I had a plan. I had somewhere safe to go. On Monday, I called my boss and asked for time off work. She was really understanding and kind. Zara, take as long as you need. And just so you know, everyone at the office is on your side. What he did was really cruel. I spent the whole day packing my stuff into boxes. Clothes, books, pictures, important papers. I'd deal with the furniture later. Right now I just needed to escape. Marcus hadn't come home. He hadn't called. He hadn't sent any messages. Nothing. And somehow that hurt even more than everything else. 5 years together, and he couldn't even try to fix things. He couldn't even fight for our relationship. I tried to send Marcus a text telling him I was moving out so he could come back to the house. The message wouldn't send. I tried calling him. It went straight to a recording. He had blocked my number. He blocked me like I was some random person he didn't care about. Like I was the villain in the story. I texted Rico. Hey Rico. Just letting you know Marcus can come back to the house now. I'm moving out this week. Rico wrote back fast. He's not staying with me, Zara. I haven't seen him since your birthday concert. I stared at my phone, confused. What did he mean Marcus wasn't there? Didn't Marcus say he was staying at Rico's place? If he wasn't with Rico, then where was he? I texted some of our other friends and people Marcus worked with. Nobody had seen him. Nobody knew where he was. The truth came on Wednesday afternoon in a way I never expected. I was at work trying to focus on my computer when I got a message from a number I didn't know. Hi Zara. This is Devin. I work with Marcus at the photography studio. We met once when you picked him up after work. Sorry to bother you, but I heard you're trying to find Marcus. My stomach felt sick. Devin was one of the other photographers who sometimes worked on projects with Marcus. Hi Devin. Do you know where he is? Look, I don't know exactly what's going on with you two right now, but I think Marcus is staying at Brittany's apartment. Brittany. That name hit me like a punch in the stomach. Brittany was a new photographer who started at the studio about 6 months ago. She had just graduated from college and was really talented. Marcus mentioned her sometimes. Always casually. Brittany had a cool idea for a photo shoot today. Brittany is really good at using lighting. Brittany is coming to the work party this weekend. We'd hung out with her a few times in groups. She seemed sweet and funny. She always laughed at Marcus's jokes. I actually liked her. How stupid was I? Brittany. I typed back, my hands shaking. Brittany from the photography studio? Yeah, that's her. Look Zara, I didn't want to be the one to tell you this, but they've been showing up to work together every morning and leaving together every night. They're way too close. Like more than just friends or co-workers, you know. Every word felt like a knife stabbing me. How long has this been happening? I asked, even though I was scared to know the answer. I'm not totally sure, but Zara, they've been acting like this for months. Way too touchy and personal. At least since winter, maybe longer. I'm really sorry I had to tell you. I couldn't breathe right. Thank you for being honest with me, Devin. I really appreciate it. Called Keisha immediately. She answered after one ring. Zara, what's wrong? I can hear it in your voice. Someone who works with Marcus just messaged me, I said, and my voice was shaking badly. He says Marcus is staying with Brittany. They come to work together and leave together. Devin says they've been acting like a couple for months. That piece of trash. Keisha yelled into the phone. Zara, I'm so sorry this is happening to you. I hung up and just sat there feeling numb. It wasn't just the prank. It wasn't just the public embarrassment. It was months and months of cheating and lying. And suddenly everything made perfect sense. Why he was always busy and didn't have time for me anymore. Why he was constantly on his phone texting someone. Why he seemed so far away and disconnected the past few months. And the prank. He just didn't care about my feelings at all. I was entertainment to him. A way to get views and attention for his channel. What would he do next time? Pretend someone died. Tell me our house burned down. Every important moment in my life would become material for his stupid videos. And I'd just be standing there, the dumb girlfriend who accepted everything. Who paid his bills while he had fun with another woman. But he kept me around because it was convenient. Because I paid rent when he was broke. Because it was easier to have a girlfriend at home handling everything while he did whatever he wanted outside. My phone rang that night. It was Marcus. I stared at it for a long time before I finally answered. What do you want, Marcus? My voice sounded cold and empty. We need to talk about the house, Zara. Of course it was about the house and money. Not about us. Not about what he did. Not about our relationship. What about the house? How am I supposed to pay for it by myself? The rent is too expensive. You can't just leave and make me pay for everything alone. The nerve of this man was unbelievable. Marcus, we signed that rental contract together. Tomorrow I'm calling the landlord to break our lease. But where am I supposed to live? I don't know. Maybe you can live with Brittany permanently. Total silence on the other end of the phone. Long, heavy, uncomfortable silence. Brittany, he finally said, and his voice sounded weird and fake. What about Brittany? I laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. It was a bitter, angry laugh. Stop lying, Marcus. I know everything. I know you're staying at her place. I know you arrive at work together every single day. I know you've been cheating on me with her for months. Brittany is just my co-worker. We work together. Obviously, we show up at the same time sometimes. That doesn't mean anything. Save your lies, I interrupted him. People have seen you leaving her apartment early in the morning, Marcus. You think I'm stupid? Who told you that, Zara? Whoever said that is lying to cause drama. It doesn't matter who told me. What matters is that we're done. Finished. Over. I'm calling the landlord tomorrow to cancel our lease. We'll have to pay money for breaking it early, but I don't care anymore. You can have all the furniture, TV, the game system, everything. I just want to be completely out of your life. Zara, wait. We can't break up over this. This is stupid. Can't. I repeated, shocked. Why do you even want to stay together, Marcus? Because you need someone to pay your bills. It's not like that. I love you, Zara. We can fix everything. We can work this out. You don't love me. You never loved me. Goodbye, Marcus. Zara, don't hang up. Please just lease. I ended the call. The phone started ringing again immediately. Over and over and over. I ignored every single call. I blocked his number completely. I blocked him on every app and social media site. The messages started coming almost right away. Marcus made a new email address. He made fake profiles on Instagram. He started sending me messages through every possible way since I blocked him everywhere else. Zara, please let me explain everything. I made a huge mistake. I'm so sorry. We need to talk about this face to face. I ignored all of it. Every message. Every attempt to contact me. He didn't deserve even one more second of my time or attention. On Friday, my parents showed up with a big moving truck. My dad looked angrier than I'd ever seen him in my whole life. Where is he? Dad asked as soon as he walked through the door. He's not here, Dad. And he won't be coming back. Good for him, Dad muttered under his breath. Because I don't think I could control my temper. My dad worked as a lawyer who handled people suing each other. He called me Thursday night after I told him about the cheating. He said something that surprised me. Zara, what he did to you at that concert, we can take him to court for that. Public humiliation and causing you emotional pain, especially if he posts that video online. Dad, I just want to forget all of this and move on with my life. Baby girl, listen to me. This man used you. He cheated on you. He humiliated you in public just to get views for his internet channel. He can't just get away with this. And Rico can't either, since he filmed the whole thing knowing exactly what was happening. You really think we could win in court? I'm absolutely sure we can. And I'm going to make sure they both pay for what they did to you. We spent the entire day packing all my belongings into boxes and loading them into the truck. The neighbors watched from their windows and porches, but nobody asked what was happening. Mrs. Chen from next door, a nice older lady who always smiled at me, came over to our yard. You're leaving, honey, she asked. Yes, Mrs. Chen. Because of relationship problems. I nodded, not trusting myself to say more without crying. She squeezed my hand tight. You deserve so much better than him. I saw how he treated you all this time. Never liked that boy. Not one bit. That broke something inside me. Even the neighbor saw how bad he was. Everyone saw it. Everyone except me. By the time the sun went down, the house was empty of all my stuff. I'd left behind the couch, the kitchen table, the TV, everything we'd bought together. I only took what was mine. Before leaving, I walked through each empty room one final time. 3 years in this house. 3 years of memories. Some happy ones at the beginning. Lots of bad ones now that I really thought about it clearly. I stood at the front door and looked back one last time. I didn't feel sad. Felt free. Back at my parents' house, safe in my childhood bedroom, I finally let myself cry hard. I wasn't crying for losing Marcus. I was crying for all the time I'd wasted. For the 5 years I gave to someone who never appreciated me or cared about me. That night, lying in my old bed, I got an idea. Terrible, wonderful, perfect idea. Marcus had embarrassed me in public. He faked a proposal to make me look foolish. What if I did the exact same thing back to him? The idea grew bigger in my mind. Marcus always said he wanted kids more than anything. It was his biggest dream in life. He talked about it all the time. About being a dad someday. About the children we would have together. Keisha, are you awake? I texted my best friend. Girl, yes. What's up? I have an idea. A really crazy idea. I told her my whole plan. Are you insane? She texted back. But also, that's actually brilliant. You want help. Help me make him feel even a tiny bit of what I felt. I spent all of Saturday planning everything perfectly. I found a picture of a positive pregnancy test online. I put my name on it and changed the date to make it recent. I wrote out the perfect message. On Saturday night, I sent the text to Marcus. Marcus, I need to tell you something important. Even though everything is messed up between us, you deserve to know the truth. I'm pregnant. The baby is yours. I'm keeping it no matter what you decide, but you need to pay child support. My dad is already getting the legal papers ready. I attached the picture of the positive test. Took less than 3 minutes for him to respond. What? Are you being serious right now, Zara? I'm going to be a dad. Oh my God, I'm actually going to be a father. The messages kept flooding in. He was so happy and excited. More excited than I'd seen him in years. Zara, we need to meet up and talk about this in person. Please, I'm begging you. I'm going to be the best dad ever. I promise we can make this work. We can be a real family. I waited a whole day before responding to any of his messages. We can meet at the house tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But I'm not coming alone. Keisha is coming with me for support. Okay. That's fine. I'll be there, Zara. Thank you for telling me. Thank you so much for giving me this chance. That night I barely slept at all. Part of me felt nervous about what I was going to do. Another part felt a little guilty. But the biggest part of me, the part that was still hurt and furious, couldn't wait to see his face when he learned the truth. Sunday afternoon at exactly 2 o'clock, Keisha and I pulled up to the house. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat, but I was calm and focused. Ready. Marcus was already waiting inside. When I unlocked the door and walked in, he jumped up from the couch. He was holding a huge bouquet of roses. There was a shopping bag from an expensive baby store on the floor, and he looked happier than I'd seen him in months, maybe years. Zara, he said, walking toward me fast. I stepped back before he could hug me or touch me. Hi, Marcus. Hi, Keisha, he said to my friend. She just stared at him with cold eyes and didn't say anything back. These flowers are for you, he said, pushing the roses toward me. And I bought some stuff. Baby vitamins, books about pregnancy, a little stuffed elephant. He laughed nervously. I know it's really early, but I got so excited I couldn't help myself. I took the flowers just so I'd have something to hold in my hands. Sit down, I said, pointing at the couch. He sat down quickly, leaning forward with his elbows on his knees. Keisha stood by the front door with her arms crossed over her chest, watching everything. Zara, I broke up with Brittany, Marcus said immediately. I ended things with her as soon as you told me about the baby. I know I messed up so badly. I know I've been a terrible boyfriend. But a baby. That changes absolutely everything. It changes everything, I repeated slowly. Yes, we can make this work. I know we can. I'm going to be an amazing father. I'll get a better job that pays more money. I'll help with everything the baby needs. We can move back in together and raise our child as a family. And Brittany. asked, keeping my voice calm and neutral. Forget about Brittany. She doesn't matter at all. She was crying and begging me not to leave her, but I told her no. You're the mother of my baby. You're the only person I want in my life. I wasn't the person you wanted last week when you were cheating on me. He looked down at the floor, ashamed. I know. And I'm so sorry. I messed up worse than I've ever messed up in my whole life. But this is bigger than me. Bigger than you. Bigger than our problems. This is about our baby. Our future. I stayed quiet for a long moment, just staring at the man I'd loved for 5 years. The man who betrayed me. Who humiliated me. Who used me and my money. Marcus, I said finally, my voice steady and calm. Do you remember my birthday? He blinked, looking confused by the change in topic. Yeah, I remember. Do you remember what you did to me? Zara, I already said I was sorry about that. No, you didn't. Not even once. You said it was just a joke. You said I was overreacting and being too dramatic. You told me to relax and calm down. Okay, fine. I was wrong. Can see that now. I'm sorry. You humiliated me in front of thousands of strangers. You pretended to propose when you knew how desperately I wanted to get married. You did it just to make a stupid prank video for Rico's channel. I know, and I feel terrible about it. I'm so sorry, Zara. You made me feel like the dumbest, most foolish person alive. You made me cry in public. You made me believe I was finally getting everything I'd always dreamed of. And then you ripped it away in the cruelest way possible. Marcus looked pale now. His hands were shaking. Zara, where are you going with this? I stood up from my chair and walked closer to him. Keisha was smiling now, knowing exactly what was coming next. I thought, I continued, that it would only be fair if I did the exact same thing to you. Took him a few seconds to understand. I watched his face carefully. I saw the exact moment it clicked in his brain. His eyes got huge. His mouth fell open. No, he whispered. It's a prank. I shouted, laughing. But it wasn't a happy laugh. It was a bitter, angry laugh filled with all the pain he'd caused me. There is no baby, Marcus. There never was. I just wanted you to feel a tiny fraction of what I felt at that concert. He stood up so fast he almost fell over. You're lying. You sent me a picture of the positive test. Google is amazing. And so is Photoshop, Keisha said from across the room, clearly enjoying this. Marcus's face went through so many emotions. Confusion, anger, devastation. He collapsed back onto the couch and put his head in his hands. How could you do this to me? He whispered. You know how much I want to be a father someday. This isn't right. And you knew how much I wanted to get married. I shot back, my voice hard and cold. I guess we're even now, aren't we? This is different. You messed with something really important. You played with the idea of a life. I messed with something really important to you. You messed with something really important to me. Seems pretty much the same to me. I'm going to sue you, he said, his voice getting angry now. This was evil and cruel. Calm down, I said. You're going to have one little problem with that plan. My dad is already suing you and Rico first. He lifted his head and stared at me. What are you talking about? Public humiliation. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. You embarrassed me on purpose in front of thousands of people. You recorded everything without asking me, planning to post it online for views and money. Rico helped you do it. You're both going to pay for it in court. You're bluffing. You're just trying to scare me. I wish I was bluffing. My dad already filed all the official paperwork with the court. You'll get served with papers this week. Marcus turned completely white. All the color drained from his face. Zara, please don't do this. I was just joking around. I won't sue you for the pregnancy thing. Please, I'm begging you. This will destroy my whole life. It'll destroy Rico's life too. Maybe you both should have thought about that before you decided to humiliate me in front of thousands of strangers. I'm sorry, he shouted, jumping to his feet again. I'm so sorry. Okay. I was an idiot. I messed up really badly. But suing us? That's going way, way too far. Too far. I repeated, unable to believe what I was hearing. You cheated on me for months and months. You used my money to pay for your life when you were broke. You embarrassed me publicly for entertainment. And I'm the one going too far. I never used you, Zara. I paid rent when you had no money. I paid for food and bills and everything else. You stayed with me because it was easy and convenient. You had a free place to live half the time, didn't you? Yes, I screamed at him. And you know it's true. You never actually loved me. You just liked what I did for you. You liked having a girlfriend who supported you while you played around making videos. You liked having someone at home paying the bills while you ran around with Brittany. He said nothing. He couldn't say anything because every word I said was completely true, and he knew it. I grabbed my purse from the chair. Keisha was already standing by the door, ready to leave. Oh, and just so you know, I said, stopping near the door. I called the landlord yesterday morning. I already broke our lease. Marcus's face went even paler, which I didn't think was possible. You already cancelled it. You have 10 days to move all your stuff out of here. After that, the house goes back to the rental company. But Zara, the fee for breaking the lease early. It was $2,000. Half of that is yours. $1,000. You owe me that money. He rubbed both hands over his face, looking completely desperate and defeated. I don't have $1,000 right now, Zara. I'm completely broke. Not my problem anymore, I replied coldly. You owe me, and I expect to get paid. My dad will contact you about collecting it. Zara, please just wait. Goodbye, Marcus. I opened the door and walked out into the fresh air. Keisha followed right behind me. I shut the door firmly, and in the quiet hallway outside, we both heard it. Loud, desperate, pathetic, broken. Marcus was crying. Keisha looked at me with shocked, wide eyes. I paused for just a second with my hand still touching the doorknob. A small part of me, the part that remembered the 5 years we spent together, wanted to go back inside. I wanted to comfort him. Tell him everything would be okay. Try one more time to make it work. But the bigger part of me, the part that was hurt and angry and finally awake to the truth, kept walking forward. Let's go, I told Keisha quietly, and we walked away down the hall. His sobs got quieter and quieter with every step we took. When we got into the elevator, Keisha grabbed me in a huge, tight hug. You were incredible, she said proudly. You were so brave and strong. And it was only there, away from him and safe, that I let my own tears fall. Not from sadness about losing him, but from pure relief about leaving him behind. It was finally, truly over. I was finally free. The next few weeks felt like a wild ride. My dad actually took Marcus and Rico to court. The official papers were delivered to them on a Tuesday. Marcus tried calling me over and over. He sent me message after message begging me to drop the lawsuit and leave them alone. I ignored every single one. The court case moved pretty quickly. My dad had really strong proof. The video recording. People from the concert who witnessed everything. Marcus's text messages where he made fun of me afterward. Their lawyer tried to argue it was just harmless fun. But when my dad showed evidence of my psychological damage from therapy sessions, their whole argument fell apart. We won the case. The judge ordered them to pay $75,000 from each of them. Enough money for me to put a down payment on my very own condo, a place that would be completely mine. But the money wasn't even the best part. The best part was watching the social consequences unfold. The video Rico posted before the lawsuit went absolutely viral, but not in the way they hoped. People were furious and disgusted. The comments were brutal and harsh. What kind of monster does this to someone they claim to love? This isn't comedy. This is pure cruelty and abuse. I really hope she left him immediately. These two are complete garbage human beings. Their channel lost tens of thousands of followers in just days. Rico had to delete the video after getting threatened with more legal action, but it was already too late. Other people had downloaded it and re-uploaded it everywhere. Marcus lost almost all his photography jobs because of it. Nobody wanted to hire the guy who pulled such a cruel prank on his girlfriend. His professional reputation was completely destroyed. And Brittany. I heard through a mutual friend that Brittany was relieved and thankful when Marcus broke up with her. My friend sent me a screenshot of her message. Brittany said dating Marcus was the worst mistake of her life. She said if she was still with him when the lawsuit happened, she would have been dragged through the mud too. She's glad she got out when she did. So that was that. Brittany got lucky and escaped before everything exploded. She walked away clean without any consequences for helping destroy my relationship. But karma doesn't forget. I learned that lesson well. Someday, somewhere, Brittany would get what she deserved. Maybe she'd do it to another girl. Maybe someone would do it to her. But eventually, she'd have to pay for her part in all this. I found out Marcus moved back in with his parents in a small town 2 hours away from the city. No apartment, no girlfriend, no side piece, no money, and a completely ruined reputation. Meanwhile, I was rebuilding my entire life from the ground up. I kept going to therapy, and it became one of the best choices I ever made. My therapist helped me recognize all the toxic patterns I'd accepted as normal. She helped me understand my real worth and value. I got a big promotion at my job. My boss told me she was really impressed with how I handled everything. How strong and resilient I'd been through it all. I used the settlement money to buy a beautiful little condo in a nice neighborhood. I decorated it exactly how I wanted with my favorite colors and style. Nobody around to criticize my choices. Nobody trying to control everything. And 4 months after everything ended, I met someone new. His name was Andre. We met at a professional networking event for work. He was kind, respectful, smart, had a stable career, and most importantly, he treated me exactly the way I deserved to be treated. It wasn't instant, magical love at first sight. It was something better and more real. It was built on solid, strong foundations. Mutual respect. Genuine admiration. True partnership between equals. A year after meeting Andre, I was in my condo cooking dinner when my phone buzzed with a text from Keisha. "Girl, turn on Channel 7 News right now." I grabbed the TV remote, confused, and switched to the channel she mentioned. And there on the screen were Marcus and Rico's faces. Their booking photos. The word arrested in huge capital letters above their heads. I grabbed the remote and turned up the volume, my heart suddenly racing. 2 local men were arrested this evening following a prank that resulted in serious injury to an innocent victim. Marcus Cole, age 32, and Rico Bennett, age 30, are known for their social media channel where they post prank content. But this time, authorities say the prank crossed a dangerous line. The news showed footage of ambulances with flashing lights, police cars, a young woman being wheeled out on a stretcher, an oxygen mask covering her face. The victim, whose name is being withheld for privacy, suffered such a severe panic attack during the prank that she had to be rushed to the hospital. Doctors say she could have died from the stress. The 2 men are being charged with assault, reckless endangerment, and causing intentional harm. If found guilty, they could each face up to 4 years in prison. I sat on my couch staring at the TV screen with my mouth hanging open in shock. They hadn't learned anything. Not one single thing. After everything that happened with me. After the lawsuit. After losing everything. They just kept going. They kept playing cruel pranks on innocent, unsuspecting people. And this time they went way, way too far. My phone rang loudly, making me jump. It was Keisha calling. "Are you watching this right now?" She practically screamed into the phone. "I'm watching. I can't believe it. What absolute morons. What complete idiots. They didn't learn anything from what happened with you." "Well, they're going to learn now," I said, and I realized I was actually smiling. It wasn't a smile of happiness. It was a smile of pure justice being served. They could each get 4 whole years in prison, Zara. 4 years. "Karma is very, very real, Keisha," I said quietly. "Karma never forgets." Andre came into the living room looking concerned about my expression and body language. What's going on? Is everything okay? Remember my ex-boyfriend? The one who did that horrible prank I told you about. How could I forget that story? It was awful. He and his friend just got arrested. They pulled another prank that sent someone to the hospital. She almost died. Andre shook his head slowly in disbelief and disgust. Some people never learn their lesson, do they? Yeah, some people are just trash, I agreed. But at least now they're going to actually pay for what they did. For real this time. Over the next few days, the story absolutely exploded everywhere. The video of their latest prank got leaked to the media. They had recorded the whole thing just like always. The internet erupted with anger and outrage. People started sharing my old prank video too, connecting all the dots, showing the clear pattern of cruelty and abuse. Marcus and Rico became national examples of everything wrong with prank culture. Their faces were plastered everywhere online, always next to words like arrested, dangerous, or cruel pranksters. And me. I was finally completely at peace with everything. 'Cause it wasn't just me. I hadn't been too sensitive or too dramatic or overreacting to nothing. They were genuinely cruel people. They always had been. And now the entire world could see their true nature. Several months passed by. Marcus and Rico's criminal case went to trial. They were both found guilty on all charges. 3 years in prison for each of them. Plus massive fines they'd have to pay. Plus restraining orders keeping them away from their victim forever. Life kept moving forward. My life kept moving forward in beautiful ways. I got another promotion at work, making even more money than before. I bought nice new furniture for every room in my condo. I took an amazing trip to Hawaii with Keisha. We spent a week on the beach, drinking fruity drinks and laughing in the sunshine. I continued going to therapy regularly, learning to trust people again, learning to love again, learning to truly value myself. And Andre was everything Marcus never was or could be. Kind without being weak. Attentive without being controlling. A real, true partner in absolutely everything. 3 years after the day I first met Andre, on a quiet Friday evening, I was in my condo making his favorite meal for dinner. It had become our special tradition. Friday nights were just for us. No phones allowed. No distractions. Just the two of us together. I finished cooking the chicken and vegetables he loved and set everything on the table nicely. I lit candles to make it romantic. Everything looked perfect. The doorbell rang right on time. I opened it and there he stood with a bouquet of my favorite flowers in his hand and that warm smile that always made my heart feel full. Hey, beautiful lady. Hi, handsome. Come inside. Dinner is ready and waiting. We sat down and ate together, talking and laughing about our day at work. Making plans for the weekend ahead. Discussing the new movie we wanted to see. It was comfortable and easy. It was simple and genuine. It was real love. When we finished eating, I started to get up to bring out dessert, but Andre gently grabbed my hand to stop me. Wait. Before dessert, there's something really important I need to say to you. I looked at him curiously. He seemed nervous in a way I'd never seen before. I could see his hands trembling slightly. He swallowed hard before speaking. And then he stood up from his chair and got down on one knee right there in my kitchen. My heart completely stopped beating. Zara, he began, and his voice was shaky but strong. From the very first day I met you, you amazed me. Your incredible strength after everything you survived. Your intelligence and kindness. Your ability to rebuild your whole life from nothing. You are the strongest, most amazing woman I have ever known in my entire life. Tears were already forming in my eyes, but these were good tears. Happy tears. Bright tears. I love you more than I ever thought it was possible to love another person, he continued. And I want to spend every single day for the rest of my life making you smile. Supporting your dreams. Being your true partner in everything we do together. He pulled a small velvet box from his jacket pocket. He opened it slowly, and inside was the most stunning, beautiful ring I'd ever seen in my entire life. Simple but elegant. Perfect for me. Zara Williams, will you please marry me? I couldn't form words. I could only nod my head up and down rapidly while tears poured down my cheeks and a huge smile took over my whole face. Yes. I finally managed to whisper through my tears. Yes, yes, yes. 1,000 times yes. He carefully slipped the ring onto my finger, which had perfectly manicured nails just like always. Then he pulled me into the tightest, warmest hug. We stood there in my kitchen, both of us crying and laughing at the exact same time. I wanted to ask you here, he said softly in my ear. In your home, your safe place, just the two of us alone. No pressure from other people. No audience watching. Nothing but us. I wanted this moment to be absolutely perfect for you. Exactly what you deserve. And it was perfect. It was exactly precisely what I deserved. Today, when I look back at everything that happened, I barely recognize the woman I used to be. The woman who accepted crumbs and convinced herself it was love. The woman who made herself smaller to fit into someone else's life. The woman who paid bills for a man who never valued her worth. That version of Zara died the night of that concert. And in her place, someone stronger and wiser and more complete was born from the ashes. Marcus gave me an unexpected gift that night, even though he didn't mean to. He gave me my freedom from a toxic relationship. He showed me I deserved so much more than he could ever give. He forced me to wake up and see reality clearly for the first time. And I, in return, gave him exactly what he deserved. A small taste of his own medicine. And the chance to face real consequences for his cruel actions. Marcus and Rico are still in prison right now, paying for what they did. Not just to me but to others they hurt. Because people like that don't stop hurting others. They don't change or learn. They keep destroying lives until someone finally stops them. And they were stopped. Meanwhile I'm here. Engaged to a man who treats me with love and respect. With a career I'm proud of. With a home that's completely mine. With real friends who support me. With a life I built myself from the broken pieces of what was destroyed. Karma isn't just a saying. Karma is a woman who got tired of being treated like a doormat and decided to collect what she was owed. And sometimes, karma is also the universe putting people exactly where they belong. Marcus is where he belongs. Behind bars paying his debt. And I am where I belong. Free, genuinely happy, and truly loved. When people show you who they really are, believe them the first time. And when you finally see the truth, it's up to you to decide what to do with it. I chose to set myself free. And it was the best decision I ever made in my life. Thank you so much for staying with me until the very end. I know this story was intense and emotional. If it touched your heart, please hit that like button. Subscribe to JAMAL'S Stories for more real-life stories every week. And share this with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time.